to go live right now, and it's a surprise live because, well, I'm just so excited. Why? Because tomorrow's the day. Timeless is coming out, and I just wanted to come in and say um, it has been a whirlwind this past few months to get up to speed and go to release Timeless. And I wanted to do before I forget, before I lose my mind and forget. I wanted to let you know that I have such a great team behind me, and I have not had a team up until a couple months ago. Um, it was all me, and things were kind of exploding, and I needed some help so I could make sure I could get everything done and get things out to you, and I could have time to write. And so I just wanted to take some time to think before the whirlwind of tomorrow and the release, but I wanted to take some time to think some of the people that have been really instrumental in helping me get here today. And the first I want to thank is my husband. My husband is amazing. He is the one who's encouraged me to begin my author journey. He's my rogue Irish husband. So if you didn't know that, that's the inspiration for some of the Irish stuff in my books. And I also want to thank profusely all of the authors and the ladies, most of them ladies, who have become kind of a tribe. And when I first started this, a someone who's become very special to me, an author, Mary Carr, who, if you don't read her books, you should. She was the first author that really sort of embraced me, and she read my book and she gave me a great review. And she said, you know what, you need to find a bunch of people in your tribe, and those people will embrace you. You will love them. You'll support them. They'll support you. And it's so true. It's so true. So Mary, thank you for that advice. And what's really fun is that this whole author community, like I said, for me, it really started with the Rockstar Romance author community. The Rockstar Romance author community we're all sort of bonded by the fact that we love music, we love romance, and when you combine the love with music and romance together, it is huge. It's really, really cool. And I think I forgot, by the way, for TikTok fans, I don't think I actually put what I'm talking about. So sorry. I just decided to go live really quick. So I wanted to thank all the ladies in my romance lounge. So if you're not on Facebook, get on Facebook. And there's a group of us that started a page called My Romance Lounge. And there's not a million, but there's quite a few of us Rockstar Romance authors that were really at the same stage in our career. And we started it and have built kind of a little tribe of our own there. And so it's Sasha Marshall and Kella Campbell and Kenna Reed and Tyler Page and Charlie Rose and Jenna Galicki, a whole group of really, really great authors. So if you like what I write, then I encourage you to also try them. We all kind of started out similar times. What recently has happened is I've really connected with some of my just inspirations for why I became an author to begin with. And I'm really excited to share with you. Some of them have been on TikTok and have great followings, and on Facebook and have great followings. Some of them haven't, but they're huge in the Rockstar Romance world. And what's super cool is we're going to be doing something fun for you soon. So stay tuned for that. But recently, in the past couple months, I actually hired someone to help me. And she's my executive assistant. So while you're seeing really amazing content and beautiful graphics, I thought I did okay on graphics, but you can really see when my assistant Krisha kind of came on board and took things up a level. So she's really responsible for helping me put all my graphics and stuff together and helping match the vision in my head to make it visual on the page. Of course, Regina Wamba. So follow Regina. If you love all my videos, you love all the backstage footage, Regina is the woman who is taking all the photos. So if you love the beautiful photos that I have for all of my couples, hi. Oh, I'm starting to see some of you guys. Hi from Canada. But Regina Wamba, you need to follow her because she works with so many great authors, but she's also an artist and has beautiful photography in her own right. So she is, I mean, seriously, she's my visual collaborator. Oh, hi, Tiny Reader. I'm sorry you're in Facebook prison. I know there's all sorts of prisons, TikTok prison, Facebook prisons, Instagram prison. I don't know what's going on. Authors have a hard time kind of keeping in front of people. I think like they don't like the steamy stuff. Um, oh, thank you. I love Regina because of you. Oh, well, you know what? I found Regina because of Carrie Ann Cole, who is an amazing rock star romance. But the other team that has just joined me and who's on board is the Next Step PR. And I have a new PR company, and they have been really, really helpful in getting me organized. And because of them, you guys, I have Timeless. I'm going to show you Timeless. Here's my book that comes out tomorrow. Some of you have read it, my ARC readers. Some of you haven't, but it's up tomorrow. You can pre-order it if you want. It's on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have a subscription to Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. If you want to buy a copy of the paperback, it's gorgeous, by the way. It's so soft. Here, I'm going to just caress Enrico. But has really beautiful pages. And so that's tomorrow. God, I can't believe it's tomorrow. My 4th full-length book, and the end of the first chapter of the saga in LTZ. I'm here to tell you there is more. There is more for LTZ. And I'm writing right now the next installment. I started a couple weeks ago. I started writing the next installment. Also, can I just shout out and thank all of the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful models that are my characters. I think that probably my most watched video at this point is the Rain Room with Brandon and Tara. And that, at least on TikTok, that's my most watched video. I think we're closing in on 600,000 views of that right now, which is insanity to me. But so Brandon and Tara are the beautiful couple that play Ty and Zoe in my first book, Endless. And Brandon Katz is a very famous model. And if you did a search for long-haired models, for sure Brandon comes up. So when I had Brandon in mind when I was writing Endless, and when he agreed to actually do and be Ty, I was over the moon. I didn't know him. Regina was helping me. Regina knew him. And we were supposed to do this big photo shoot before the book came out last year in 2020. And then we all know that COVID happened. And so it got canceled. And I had to use some old picture of his. So the first cover of Endless. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's so cool. So on Facebook, somebody has just said my videos are, I can't read that all, but sorry, reading glasses. Oh, thank you. Well, so the videos, the reason why I do these videos is because when I read, I'm very visual. I'm really into pop culture. I love movies. I love shorts. I love everything. So when I created my world, I wanted to create it for you too. So it makes me super, super happy to kind of pull out what my head thinks and show it to you a little bit. Thanks about my glasses, by the way. These, I'm afraid you can't get, I don't think you can get them anymore. They're Betsy Johnson. I got them on Zulily, my favorite shop, app shop, whatever. And I got them because I was really fighting the fact that I need reading glasses. And I thought, well, if I've got to get some, I know I'm all over the map right now, so sorry, but we're talking about glasses. Anyways, so I think I bought all the pairs of these that still existed because they went out of print. So thank you. I love them too. Cheetah. How do you go wrong with Cheetah? So Brandon and Tara. So when we finally came back and Regina and I were getting ready to do our photo shoot, we reached out to Brandon and he was like, yep, I'm on board. But here's the thing. I am very happily married and you can't cast someone. I'll shoot myself, but I won't, well, not shoot myself, but I will allow you to take pictures of me. But I just don't want to do any more couples pictures because I love my wife. And so luckily I'd been stalking him a little bit on Instagram and I had actually said to Regina, I'm like, Tara, his wife, looks like I picture Zoe. So maybe Tara will do it. And she's like, well, Tara's not a model. And I'm like, she could be, she's that pretty. So I said, I think we just sort of coaxed Brandon into asking her. And he was like, she'll never say yes. She'll never say yes. And so she did kind of, but I think he was really, what was so cute is that he was so protective of her. And it reminded me like what's really, and I'll get into this in a second, but what's so weird about all of this is that kind of his protectiveness of her was so sweet. It reminded me so much of my characters that I was like, well, God, this seems like, it has to happen. And so it did. And so that was all cool. So now Tara's in, Brandon's in. Now we're trying to get everybody else. Now, one of the things that now that I know and I love doing all these videos and I have these amazing, beautiful men and women that are playing my characters, as a new author, what I did is when I released Endless, and this is probably everybody, I knew I was going to create this whole world. And so I had descriptions of characters really, really ingrained in my mind of who these characters would be. And there's a lot of things that you kind of figure out when you're self-published. And so long story, super long. I had all the descriptions. So now I have to find the models to meet my descriptions. What I realized later, and I'm doing better at this, is that if you find your models and your actors and you get them on board ahead of time, then you can actually write to character. This will come up in a second. And I didn't do that. So we really, Regina, we really had to find the right people. Oh, thanks, you guys. I'm seeing some comments on TikTok, so I'll try to interject. So, I'm excited that you want to read the series. Yay, after your exam. Perfect. I get that. I'm luckily don't have any more exams, but I appreciate that. So Brandon and Tara on board. So now we go out to find the next folks. And I will tell you, finding Jace, the drummer who's in Limitless book 2, finding him was a challenge because I even went down the stock photography rabbit hole where I can't even tell you how many hours I spent on Shutterstock and to try to find someone that really embraced Jace. And then Regina's like, well, I shoot this guy, I take photos of this guy in Minnesota that you need to meet. His name is Garrett McCall. So I look at her site, and I don't know that I knew Regina even had stock photos on her site at that point. I just thought she was going to do this shoot, this big shoot with me and all these different models. And there he was, Garrett McCall. And I took one look at him and I'm like, where have you been? You are Jace. So he's on board. So Garrett's on board. Now we have to cast Alex. And so Regina was very instrumental in finding me Alex. And so she's also from Minnesota. Her name is Carson Hunstead, and she's just adorable. So now they're on board. To find Ronnie and Connor, it was really important to me because their story, if you haven't read the series yet, each is an interconnected standalone. You can read, you can kind of come in at any point. People who have read all of them say that they like starting from the very beginning, and that's totally cool. You can start from the beginning, but you don't have to. And some people haven't because different readers have come in at different places. But anyway, so Fearless, so Limitless and Endless, they follow very parallel time. They're all on the same timeline, but they follow kind of a parallel story because it's the story of the two best friends. Zoe and Alex are the women, and they are best friends, and they set off to meet the guys in LTZ. because they're just big fans, and they never dreamed in a million years that they would end up, having these forever hot, steamy romances with these guys. But anyway, so it kind of follows their path. Now, Fearless is different. So Fearless is following the bass player Connor, the big rogue Irish bass player, and this is sort of the homage to my husband, who's Irish, and I mean really Irish. He has an accent and everything. It's pretty cool. But so his whole story was, he's this big, strong alpha male, part of, a bunch of brothers, like really, really strong person. So I had to find, and then Ronnie is based on a very good friend of mine. And I wanted to make her as strong, if not stronger, in a way, and really explore how it is where two strong personalities can, find this way to get past some trauma that happened to them. One of the things about Fearless that I really love, and I don't talk about a lot, but is the story of Ronnie, the woman, Fearless. So that's Christine Klein, and then Shorty Vest, who's the tall Viking guy that plays Connor. They're actually a real couple. So that was the first time I got to cast a real couple, and Regina knew them. And when I saw them, I'm just like, oh my gosh, they are perfect. And it's true. So they have this complete same dynamic in their relationship. Now, Ronnie is, I read this website. I'm going to put it on there. So if you guys ever, I think there's a Twitter. I think it's like an old fashioned website. So it's called Crazy Days and Nights. Crazy Days and Nights is this amazing gossipy website about, all sorts of celebrity stuff. Like I knew about Harvey Weinstein and a bunch of this other scandal stuff. All this crazy stuff way long time ago, years ago. I think everybody sort of in Hollywood did. But if you read this site, you would have known that this was happening way long time ago, and all of the actresses and all the things that affected. So I kind of took that and took a couple of storylines about some of the things that happened with some of the more teenage shows, which are totally tragic and yucky. And I just wanted to expose it. So that's what Ronnie is a teenage actress who goes through some total shit, you guys. And she is going to determine to bring down the people that hurt her and her fellow actors. And so she's on this mission when she meets Connor. And the whole book is about how he has to, how does he, as someone who wants to just take over and support her, how does he let her do that for herself? And that's something that's super important to me, you guys, is all the women in the books, they have to be strong. They have to be strong and can fend for themselves. They're not going to be rescued. I don't mind alpha males. I love all that trope, but I always love the woman has to like really be able to stand on her own, probably because I feel like that's probably the part of my personality that I put into the books. Which brings us to Timeless and Enrico and Sophia, who are seriously, Sophia is quite possibly one of the most beautiful people I have ever seen in real life. Like this complete ease about her. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. And when I was stalking, and I stalked all these people on Instagram for a long time. So when I was stalking Sophia, she had bright fuchsia hair. And in the book, in Endless, she has black hair. And I actually worked in her hair color and made sure that she had that hair because I loved it so much. And so this is a good example of like all of the models that I cast before. Like I said, I'd already written, I had to find them. So Timeless, I had written a description of Zane. And we found Enrico Ravenna. Now, Enrico Ravenna, if you've seen, so you're seeing him all over the place right now because he's Zane. He is amazing and gorgeous. And I thought there's no way in hell he'll agree to do this because he's famous. He's been on TV. He's in movies. And why would he do this? I mean, he's been on a couple book covers, but I'm just sort of a brand new author. Why would he do it? And he agreed. And oh my gosh, you guys, all of us convened. We were getting the photo shoot set up. We're finally ready to do it this year. Even though I'd already had 2 books out, I was like, you know what? I'll just recover them. That's fine. And guess what? Brandon and Tara found out they were pregnant. So Brandon and Tara couldn't make it to our photo shoot. So I had to have 2 photo shoots. I had to have one with all the couples. We did it in Minnesota in February. It was snowing, freezing. So Enrico and Sophia, Garrett and Carson, and who am I missing? Oh, Shorty and Christine. We all were in Minnesota and we had such an amazing time. Oh my gosh. And then we went and shot Brandon and Tara a couple weeks later in Los Angeles. And the photo shoots were so magical. And I mean, look at the outcome. So magical. That's all Regina. But there's so many weird coincidences, you guys. So many weird, and I will have to do that on a different, I think I'll do that on a different live. But just so you know, like we went out for dinner, we hung out, and I started to develop a really, I would say, a good friendship with a lot of the models. And they are so supportive. And so when I started, this is about shout out. They're so supportive. And again, there's so many coincidences. Like Garrett, for instance, he and I both have huskies. Like I'm probably finding ways to make it magical, but it was magical. Like I feel like all of these people, we were meant to kind of come together and put the stories together. So we had so much fun there. And then when we met Tara and Brandon, we had so much fun. And again, Tara was not a model, and she jumped in, and even Brandon was like, who is this woman? It was just amazing. And that's why you have this great rain room, these sexy, awesome rain room scenes. It's because they're a real couple. Shorty and Christina are a real couple. And I bet you didn't believe that the others aren't, but man, they just are so steamy. But we had such an amazing time together that I brought them all back together again. So we actually have the whole band. So you're starting to see some of those come up. And so I brought all of the boys together. We just got back and had the best time, hung out with them. We went to shows, we went to dinner, and all of my stories, all of these books, they're from my head, and hopefully you love them and want to read them because I've poured my heart and soul into them. But you know what makes it even extra is the fact that I have the support of all the people that play the character. So that's it. I'm not on Netflix yet, but I'm creating my Netflix stuff for you as much as I can. That's it. I'll be back tomorrow. It's my release day tomorrow. I just wanted to, again, pop in and give a thank you to all of the people that have helped me. It's so important to have support. And again, I really appreciate you guys for, following me on TikTok and Facebook and being in my reader groups and on Instagram. It's just been a joy. It is a joy. And I look forward to bringing you all the stories for a really, really long time. So have a great day, and we will talk tomorrow live on release day. Bye, everybody.